for our team. We needed this win. We needed to win against an opponent like this. We haven't had them, but this is very frustrating. It is frustrating to do it, to just be reminded that some of the fundamentals of football and coaching were what beat us out there today.
Excuse me, did Jerry Jones just call out the coach? That actually happened, and we have our coach here to break it down. Rex Ryan in the building. Good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, Molly Karen Rose. How was everybody's weekend?
Molly, sir. Coach, you get one too.
All right, good deal. Let's do it.
Stephen A., I don't know if you saw it, but all eyes were on Gillette Stadium Sunday when America's team came to town. New England survived an ugly one in inclement weather to improve to 10-1 at the expense of the Cowboys, who fell to 6-5 on the season. Stephen A., all that talent on paper. Please tell me, what is the biggest problem with this Cowboys team?
The biggest problem with it is what Jerry Jones alluded to a bit directly, to be quite honest with you, and what we should all reach to the conclusion of. Jerry Jones should fire Jason Garrett today, not after the season. You fire him today, you take Chris Richard, and you elevate him to the head coaching rank, at least on an interim basis. Obviously, with him and Marinelli, they've been handling their defense. There have been ups and downs. There have been ups and downs. It's been a little roller coaster ride. But for the most part, the Dallas Cowboys defense have answered the call. As far as I'm concerned, they answered the call last night. They did their job. Special teams was an absolute disaster. You got to look at Quinn. Quinn, I believe his name is, your special teams guy. You got to look at him. 2-month kickoffs, one in the second half, a blocked punt. You got to take those things into consideration. But we have to zero in on Jason Garrett, even more so than Kellen Moore. I don't want to hear that Kellen Moore is calling the plays and you're some innocent bystander as the head coach. You're Jerry Jones' resident adopted son, for crying out loud. When you look at what transpired yesterday, it was simply inexcusable. There is no way around this. You have a situation where you've got a 3rd and 11 with about 6 minutes left. It's an incomplete pass on the back of the end zone with Dak Prescott targeting Jarwin. What do? You're at the 11-yard line. Excuse me, you go for that. Why? Because your offense has been struggling all day. You're right there at the 11-yard line. The notion that, okay, let's kick a field goal, all right? And then as a result, I got faith in my defense because I still got 3 timeouts left. That's not good enough because it still puts you down 4, and you still were going to need a touchdown anyway. So it was just a matter of whether you needed a touchdown to win or a touchdown to tie. Now, if a field goal would win it for you, then that would be different because you kicked the field goal and then obviously you'd be down 2 or 1 or whatever. No, you were still down 4 after kicking the field goal, so you were going to need the touchdown. You showed no faith, no guts whatsoever in your offense. And oh, by the way, while you had no guts in your offense, why would that be? Inclement weather, wind, gusty, cold, raining. Tailor-made for a running game. I'm sorry, who's your running back? The dude that you gave $90 million to, $50 million in guaranteed
and drafted
dollars.
4th.
That's right, drafted 4th. Oh, by the way, averaged 4 yards a carry yesterday. It wasn't like he was anemic. It wasn't like he was ineffective. No, you had the linebackers for the Patriots, along with their safeties, doing a great job of neutralizing guys coming out of the backfield in terms of catching passes. But you showed the ability to run the football in them. You didn't do it. And then last but not least, Amari Cooper. We know that Ezekiel got his money. We know that Dak Prescott wants his money. But we also forget that Amari Cooper's playing for a new contract as well. He's your number 1 receiver. You target him 1 time in the entire first half.
Stephon Gilmore had more catches than Amari Cooper. That says it all, okay?
Yeah, it also says Stephon Gilmore. Pretty good baller.
We could say it. We all know that Stephon. We've had him on the show. Yeah. We all know what a baller Gilmore is. The interesting part, however, is that, again, you don't know how elite somebody is unless you target them. You have to go after them to some degree to have Amari Cooper and to not even target him. Either you were afraid or the inclement weather was such an adversary for you. That's more of an excuse to have the running game. The fact that Jerry Jones has these conversations, has these feelings right now, the die has been cast. We know that Jason Garrett is done. So my interest, Max, in getting rid of him is simply this. You know you're the most talented team. You look at the Eagles, you see their struggles. Don't get me started with the Giants and the Redskins. You know that you are the most talented team and should be going to the playoffs. The question is, what are you going to do the rest of the season? They have no faith in Jason Garrett. There's no belief in him. You know why Jason Garrett is still a head coach in the National Football League? Because he's a nice guy. And
I think there's more to it than that,
I
Stephen
should have
A.
been a nice guy.
That's right.
I think there's more to it than
That's
him
right.
being a nice guy. By the way, I don't think Garrett has the guts to be a great head coach. And I know what that sounds like. Sounds ad hominem. Derek Carr got mad at me because I said last year, I thought early in the season, I stopped watching them late. I thought he quit on the team. I'm going to say what I feel. I'm not saying how I would react in that situation. Maybe I'd have quit on the team. Maybe I wouldn't have the guts to be a great coach in that same situation. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about them. I thought Derek Carr quit early in the season last year, and I don't think Garrett has the guts to be a great head coach. Maybe a good one, not a great one. You just pointed out why. That's the typical play. I remember last year it was 4th and 1, like midfield. You have Ezekiel Elliott, and he punted. That's enough. I'm done. The issue with the Cowboys is, in fact, not the coach. The issue with the Cowboys is Jerry Jones, because the owner sacrificed a full season of a Super Bowl talented roster on the altar of his own ego. Remember what I said when, look, they got Amari Cooper. They have the best offensive line in the game. They got a talented defense. They got a number 1 wideout who says all the right things, does all the right things, plays the right way, runs great routes, the whole thing athletic. They got a number 1 running back. They got like an elite run. They have every single thing you need. They even got Witten out of retirement to be a locker room guy. They have every single thing you need. And what I said was, at the time, what Jerry Jones is doing, because he hasn't signed his coach or his quarterback, he's isolating the variables. Is it the coach or is it the quarterback? Guys, we all knew they're going to keep the quarterback. If you have a quarterback who's even average or above, you're going to keep the quarterback. We all knew what was going to happen here. If Jason Garrett was going to do something, he'd have done it already. He's not the first talented roster he's ever had. But Jerry Jones, and this starts way back with Jimmy Johnson, Coach, when Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson's roster, and then never again. Bill Parcells didn't last long. He may have been getting older, but he still didn't last long. Jerry Jones needs the credit. Yeah. So he installs coaches who are essentially yes men or at least mild-mannered so that if any in success, they don't get the credit. Maybe he's getting over that. Maybe now he will hire the right
Clearly, he's
guy.
late to the party, but he's arrived at the party at this point with the rest
Coach,
of us.
He's getting much older. How much longer is in front of him? He wants to win another Super Bowl, and he just sacrificed a Super Bowl roster on the altar of his own ego. Coach, I say Jerry Jones is the problem.
Okay, I totally disagree. I think Jerry Jones is the Dallas Cowboys. He built the number 1 franchise in sports. All right? And yes, does he have an ego? Yeah, you're right. But you're the owner. I'm going to give it to you. The problem with the Dallas Cowboys, you guys are both right. They have the talent. They have all this type of stuff. So what's missing? It's the mentality that's missing. They don't have it. They should have been in attack mode from jump. If you go into New England and you're tiptoeing at all, which you were, that's why you punt. That's why you went for the field goal on 4th and 7. I'm sorry. No way in heck you do that. You go for the win. You go, hey, I'm going to stick this thing in the end zone. But their mentality is not like that. You talk about we've got 21 carries for the best running back in football, and you're going to run it in those conditions 21 times. Why? Because your team's soft. You need to be physical. This team is built to be physical in a smash-mouth football team. Instead, they're finesse. Jason Garrett, bye-bye. Okay, 2 years ago, I said he should be fired, and you're like, they're not going to fire him yet. And I was like, why would you say that? You were right. I was wrong, but he should have been fired. And I look at it right now, Chris Richard, that would be a great move. Why? Because you're not giving up on the season yet. And to me, you still got part of the season. You may very well win your division. And if you do change the mentality, the attitude of your football team, you may go a long way. But if you don't, you're not going anywhere.
I haven't communicated with our researcher this morning, Max, so forgive me if I'm wrong about this, but I think I'm correct in stating that of the 11 games that the Dallas Cowboys have played, 8 they've trailed in. And it's one of those situations where think about how they come out. Usually, they are very, very adroit at making the necessary adjustments and making a game competitive, if not coming back and winning. So a lot of times they find themselves in a hole. It's like throughout the week, you didn't prepare significantly enough to come out swinging and putting someone else on their heels. You have been on your heels. That's point number 1. Point number 2, let's think about this for a second here. We talk about Jerry Jones. I'm going to come to the defense of Jerry Jones. The fact of the matter is that do I like the fact that Jason Garrett has been here this long? Hell no. But I applaud how he came into the season. Last year in the offseason, what did Jerry Jones say? I am not going to give this man a contract extension. I'm going to give my guy one last chance. He is my guy, but I'm going to give him one last chance. So what do? You sign a running back. You got the quarterback that you want. You got the receiver that you want. You've had a defense that you want. We anticipated that you're going to be better. You go against Minnesota. You go against New Orleans. You go yesterday against the Patriots. I forgot the other, Green Bay. I'm sorry. You're 0-4 against probable playoff teams. You have a loss to the sorry New York Jets. Not the New York Jets we've seen over the last 3 weeks. The sorry version of the New York Jets. And got spanked while doing so, although you didn't have Amari Cooper really for that game. Yeah. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that you look at certain things. And when we talk about Jerry Jones, you look from a macro perspective, historically, what the Cowboys could have done better over the last decade plus. I'm with you. This season, hell no. There are most coaches who are mediocre. There are coaches who are average that would have done a better job with this team than Jason Garrett has done thus far. He has got to go. And I know my buddy Jerry Jones is watching me right now. He's got to go now. I understand it's Thanksgiving. I'm not wishing anybody other than Dallas Cowboy fans a miserable Thanksgiving, even though I would prefer that their Christmases are miserable as opposed.
Stephen A. is going to show up at Garrett's house and knock the turkey off the table.
Who would you like them to hire?
Chris Richard, like I said, food will alleviate their concerns on Thanksgiving Day. When they open Christmas presents, no, that's what I wish for Dallas Cowboy fans, that you're miserable on Christmas instead of Thanksgiving. But Jerry Jones needs to fire Jason Garrett right now.
Got it.
Put Chris Richard up in there.
I thought you were saying that for the short term, just for this season. I mean the future.
What to me, Lincoln Riley would be the guy. A Sean Payton would be those two would come.
You're letting Jerry Jones off the hook. Since 2000, we already had the book on Jason Garrett. We didn't need this season to learn anymore. This was the season to go all in to win a Super Bowl. That's why you gave Ezekiel Elliott the money. That's why you signed defensive players to big contracts. You were all in to win a Super Bowl. And what you're really trying to find out, what you should be, is about your quarterback. And you weren't going to do it with Jason Garrett. They have not beaten a good team.
Yeah,
they don't beat good teams.
But that's what I'm saying.
They only beat bad teams.
But that's why I'm clapping back at you, and I respectfully disagree, Max. Only because of this. Macro, Jerry Jones, I get that. What I'm saying, micro, we expected the Dallas Cowboys potentially to come up short come postseason. We didn't expect 11 games in for them to be 6-5, slightly above average with the losses that they've lost and not beating one single playoff caliber team. Nobody expected that with this roster. Not that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to say this. They play on Thursday.
Yeah.
And you're going to make the coaching move today?
I don't give a damn.
But that's what I mean. Like that's why it's like, all right, here we go. But they I'm going to say this. Back when they were winning those Super Bowls, the difference I see, and I talked about the mentality. Back in the day when you had Eric Williams and you had Nate Newton and you had Stepnoski and all those guys, man, when they went by you, running down the field, you're like, woo-hoo. Like, Larry Allen and company, they got the same thing. They got the version of it right now. Yeah. Yet they don't do it. They run zone schemes. Are you kidding me? Knock somebody off the football.
Jimmy Johnson.
God, yeah, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson is their head coach.
He had the mentality.
Right. Yeah. Cowboys are winless against winning teams. They've trailed in 9 of 11 games. Coach, great to have you with us. I guess you got to go catch a flight. So we got to say bye to you. All right, we'll talk to you next week. We've got a lot more to come here on First Take. Did the 49ers